Hey everyone,
Everyone.
glad to be back, and another week with Jagged Alliance free. We've been hard at work on some changes that you're really gonna like, hopefully, and we're gonna give you a little bit of sneak peek with those. Have some surprises for Boyan this time as well.
Always ready to react, yeah.
Yes, but first of all, let's just check that everyone's hearing us okay, and then we can get this show started. So we see chat. We hear
Yay,
you.
they hear
All right.
us.
Yeah,
Let's
and we've
see.
been reading that you guys are from a lot of different places: Switzerland, Paris, Poland. So yeah, so I'm glad to be back this time without the
Yeah,
official T-shirt, but I
we even
will.
got the t-shirt of your back.
Yes, I will. Изкупувам грехове. I will pay
Atone
those sins
atone
later.
for my sins.
Yes. All right.
Somebody from the UK.
Yes. So, first news of the day. If probably everyone has noticed, but the Accolades trailer dropped, and it was actually a surprise for us, I could say, because it's the first time we've seen all of the reviews in one place. You know, and the guys from SCAD combined them with a lot of fun gameplay, so it was like a real joy for us to see how many reviews we got and the warm reception that we've got, not only from the community, from you guys, but also, you know, from the outlets. So
Yeah, and actually it's never been so many outlets covering. It's just that Jagged Alliance has a huge following, even in from some of the older players like me that used to play back then. So quite a lot of coverage.
it was bomb for me. And yes, the second thing is also that the demo is out.
Yeah.
If anyone has any reservations or is not sure that this is the game for him,
How it will run on their PC.
Yeah, you can just load the demo. It's in Steam right now, and you can try it out. It has the full First Island Verney, where you can try out all of the content there. We didn't time gate it or anything. It's
you just can't leave the island.
Yes. It's up until you manage to take over the fort, and then afterwards you can also take the save you have from your demo and continue it in the full game. Yeah. We really wanted to do that because there have been people with reservations that are still on the fence.
I think that demos are actually a good thing, and that they were like not something that we were doing for a time. The whole games industry decided that demos are not something worth their time. It's an extra build, an extra branch you have to upkeep from time to time and ship. So there are things involved, but I think it's a good idea to have people to give people something to try out. Even if Steam offers refunds, some people are still a bit reluctant to use that. So demo allows you to try out, test if it will run well on your PC, see if it's fun, play around. So
I still remember that why I smiled is I still remember the conversation that we had with THQ when we were talking about, hey, maybe we need a demo. So how can we structure the demo? Like what should we put inside? You know, Ernie is a very self-contained piece of content that is also the starting area where you learn a lot of the mechanics. And so they asked us, how long would that demo be? And we gave them a very wide minimum to maximum range. They're like, oh my god. It's like from X hours to X hours.
I think it's like 2 to 10 hours. You can get 10 hours out of it if you are a new player.
Oh yeah.
Learning the game. And initially we actually, back in like 3 years ago, we intended for the early experience, you have to actually take the fortress before we unlock the entire map and you can travel and see, but that felt a bit constraining because especially if you could play playthrough after playthrough, going after Ernie all the time to the fortress, it took too much time, so we decided to allow you to get off once you take Ernie Village. use the boat and get to the mainland. And actually, some of my recent playthroughs, I did just that. It was quite interesting to try to actually. I took Ernie Village and then went directly to Port Cacao to try to go to Emma there.
It's like, ain't nobody got time for taking over the fortress.
And I got got attacked from the fortress.
Well,
but yeah.
if you want to be lean and mean.
Yeah. So, let's see what's chat saying.
Yeah. Hi from Germany, hi from Mexico. Mexico is probably very early in the morning, but we're glad that you're here, so hope you're gonna like the stream. Let's see, is there any new patch? Well, that's a TBS play. That's something that we're gonna talk about today. 1.0 free, which will be dropping probably late this week or beginning of next week, depending on
early next week
QA.
At the latest, I'm hoping. We are still tweaking things and finishing up, especially since we have to do some localization strings this time, which takes a bit more time. But it's the first balance patch that we're going to ship for Jagged Alliance, and we will walk you through right now from to some of the changes. And we will actually show some of them right now.
Yes.
So the first thing is actually something about the easier difficulties and how you manage your income with the diamond mines. Something that's more of a clarification. We started something with the previous patch, which was we increased the time that the mines were depleting. Once they start depleting, it takes now more time to fully deplete.
It's more like a gradual slope than a drop.
Because, initially in the release it took about 10 days, now it's about 30 days, 35 I think. So it takes more time, but we also wanted on the easier difficulties to be a bit easier to think about money and manage money. And one of the big changes here right now is that actually depletion doesn't mean that the mines go to zero on the easiest difficulty. They will actually deplete to 50%. Only the first several mines actually deplete, but this gives you at least some income to starve off going without mercs at all. And
just
something
not to hit the brick wall of
that you can actually see on the mines is that we actually even show you the deposit size. So one of the first mines you can go for is H7, the Ruins mine. Actually, it's already written that it's a very small deposit. The deposit is running low from the start because it was always intended to be a bit of a boost as you start exploring the continent. And if you go into one of the, let's say, Landsbach mines, you see it's very rich and it will give you a lot more money. So there's a push for the bigger mines and going for deeper into the continent to get more money. But on the easiest difficulty, it's gonna be a bit more easy right now managing money because mines do deplete only to 50%. On the middle difficulty, they will go down to 20%, and on the hardest difficulty, they will still run out to zero. Just to keep the challenge. One thing that we are actually exploring for future patches is that actually some of the more hardcore players are having the hardest difficulty is a bit too easy for them. They are having lots of money. They don't have enough money sinks to spend the money on things, and that's something that we are actually going to look at and address in future patches. But right now the focus was how to make the easiest difficulty a bit more easy and a bit leave you a bit more room to breathe.
Yeah, it was funny because we have the very hardcore players and the very new players, and we're getting two totally diametrically opposed feedback types. One is like, "Oh my god, this is so difficult," and the other one is like, "Okay, this isn't hard at all." So,
well, actually, we have another developer, one of our level designers, who's doing a lot of testing. Actually, it's your namesake, Pavel, as well. He's like 74th playthrough around. And, well, he knows the game by heart. He tries to keeps trying to challenge himself and thinks of cool builds. We'll actually try to have him on one of the future streams just to...
He doesn't know that yet. So.
He'll learn. So yeah, we want to have the ability to challenge players even more. So we're thinking about how to spend more money, some things that will be actually interesting for the players, what we can spend money more on, and how to challenge this aspect. And another thing actually for the easiest difficulty is that in patch 103 we've actually increased the time between attacks when the enemy guard posts will spawn attack squads against you. We want again to leave a bit more breathing room so you have more time to heal up, to prepare, or to even just explore the world, because right now the pressure for the easiest difficulty is a bit too high. So again, that's just a change for the easiest difficulties, and again, as something I pointed out on the last stream, but you can change the difficulty on the fly from the gameplay settings. If you've started on something that's a bit harder, you can go back to First Blood, or if you're already getting used to the game, you can increase the difficulty. You could also turn on Forgiving mode, which will actually help even more with the strategic aspect, just giving you a bit more of a bit faster healing, a bit less mats required for healing and for repair. So that's on the satellite view aspect and difficulty, but some of the more interesting changes balance-wise are actually in the combat section.
Yes. So hopefully this
I have
will...
a list just of the changes. I'll try to see if there's a couple of minor things I want to point out. Some people were getting stuck actually on Ernie Island because they were running out of money and can't use the boat because it costs money. Right now you can use the, we are introducing in the patch, you can use the boat even if you're low on funds. It will go into debt and you have to make it up afterwards. But
in other
you can
words,
still reach
Greasy
Ernie
Basil was happy to have you on credit.
Yeah.
At least the first time.
And there are some quest fixes as well coming in 103, and the more specific one is actually, I know there's a lot of pain around the good place, the prison. Here there was a scripting issue that got enemies to stick in one place, and actually these fixes didn't come in the previous patch, but they are coming right now.
But this is probably one of our largest battle sectors in a way.
Well, there are a couple of ways you can go around. Actually, what we were hoping people would do, and that's something the quest notes actually pointed to, try to sneak in and go first on to the underground level, then the prisoners will actually help with the fight above. But that's one way. Yeah, we're actually gonna spoil a bit right now, hopefully not too much. But yes, we've also fixed the fact that the enemies were standing in one place and not wishing to move after actually the battle has started, and some of the guards have already...
We know that it's not fun to have in combats going next turn, and just finding that one guy that we all know is somewhere.
Yeah, and right now everybody will start being the enemies will start being active once the battle begins. So hopefully that will fix the issues there, and it will be a much more pleasant experience. But I'll load another save to talk a bit about. Let's see, which one? Let's do the machine guns. So machine guns are getting a bit of a nerf, I think, and a bit more of a fixes. We saw a lot of people playing a lot with machine guns. There's always the limiting factor of machine guns that you have to find enough bullets for them. But there were actually several problems there which were not even balance-wise, but actually bugs.
Isn't that an enemy over there?
AMD, always funny. So here we have two builds with machine guns. Meltdown is actually a very good specialist. She has a very heavily modded machine gun, while MD is not very good with machine guns and doesn't have a very highly modded machine gun. And what have we actually changed with the machine guns? First, we reduced the damage of machine guns slightly. Then we actually fixed some issues with how aiming works with machine guns. Once you set up the machine gun, it used to actually get full benefits of aiming, and it was actually hitting a lot more than that was intended. This was more of a bug or an oversight than actually what we intended. So it will hit a bit less. So in general, there's a lot less, well, not a lot, but a less reliable damage output from it. And we've actually changed how the machine gun Overwatch works. Now, when I set up the machine guns, we can set them up here.
Being quiet ain't my strong suit.
We'll set them up. But what we used to have was if you spend all of your action points, you still get the maximum number of attacks. They were based on the max action points on the current action points, like other Overwatches. We've changed that to actually work more like the other Overwatches. Oh, this guy is spotting me.
Damn, I hope there's a
Oh,
lot of
shooting.
blood.
Still with the special build, still a lot of damage.
Going full ballistic on your
But without
asses.
the mods, less hit.
Yeah, and actually you get less attacks with machine guns in general, because we wanted to limit how many attacks you, even more how many attacks you're gonna get with machine guns, because they were quite overpowered. So we can see there are still some translation strings which are going to be changed here, but right now Meltdown will have 4 interrupt attacks,
Ready
while
to,
MD, because he has
do
less attacks, we will actually just get one other remaining interrupt attack. And let's end the turn and see what's happening. A lot more spread here. And they're still devastating, but I will think a lot more balanced right now. Some good destruction here. With these new numbers, it's a lot more important to have actually a proper machine gun build. It will be devastating, but you need to modify it. You need to have somebody who specializes in it as well. So there's more reason to build around it. And this will be her last attack, I think.
The
And
hell you want?
it was also the last enemy. Of course, machine guns are still very powerful, but they're not the end-all and be-all solution of everything. I can even show you specifically the modding. Oh, come on.
Characters, yeah.
No, we're still in combat.
So there's one, probably more.
We'll see. I should have showed us. And now that they haven't spent any action points, they will actually have a lot more attacks. It's still a powerful strategy, and ultimately it is a bit limited by the number of bullets you have for the machine guns, and that's actually something in addition that we are going to tweak a bit in the patch. We are going to increase the drops of black powder, so you actually have more incentive to use the craft ammo,
Crafting, yeah.
and you'll be able to craft more ammo for the special your specific build. If you're having troubles with the ammo for your sniper rifles, which is also a bit limited to a point, you get more ammo. You can craft more ammo for snipers or for machine guns. Okay, that's it with the machine guns, and we're gonna talk a bit more about explosives. So we're gonna try another approach of this map, and we're gonna try a bit more with blow up a bit more stuff. I'll check a bit on the questions as well.
Let's see.
Will there be more parts available? We are looking at the availability of parts and mats, and we have something in the works, but it's gonna take a bit more time. So hopefully for the next big patch, we'll have more info for you. Oh, Spine Duke is saying something about Barry's shaped chargers, and yes, there are things about Barry's shaped chargers, actually about grenades in general. And it is actually something that was a bug, which was that the bonus damage from explosive actually applied twice. in the formula. Because of certain changes, the calculation was wrong, and when you get, like Barry would get about 30% bonus damage from his explosives skill, he would get like 130, and then after the explosives damage is calculated, it got another 30%, so even more than 160 in general. This is fixed, so grenades will be less powerful, but it is what we intended them originally to do, and we actually tested most of the time with the proper numbers. It's something that snuck up just before release. So yeah, the shape charges. Oh, I don't have any shape chargers equipped. Do I have some
You can
shape
equip.
chargers?
Barry without shape charges.
Shape
Not
chargers
Barry.
are still gonna be powerful, just not as powerful as they were in the release. And there was another thing that actually a lot of people were properly complaining about. It was the pinpoint accuracy of RPGs and grenade launchers. I should have added a grenade launcher in this save, but I didn't.
I think that the RPG can
But
demonstrate
yeah,
this
we'll
just
have,
fine.
yeah, we will have some fun with the RPGs. So the mishap chance now actually takes account of distance. Before, distance was not calculated, it was a very minor factor, but now both the mishap chance and the spread of the mishap, how far the rocket will fly away, depend on the range. And as you can see, right now Barry is very good with explosives, so his mishap is mostly none, but as I go, he will start getting higher and higher mishap chance, up to very high. And for comparison, this is an imp character who has, I think, 0 explosives. Yes, 0 explosives, so that's basically the two polar opposite sides. Even at these ranges, they will get low chances, and as we go more and more and more farther, a line of fire is actually a bit blocked here, but you can see they go high, and they will go to very high much earlier. So, let's blow some stuff up. Let's try with Barry and see what happens. Are we gonna get mishap at some greater distances? Let's try high. Oh, I did manage to hit with the backlash of the RPG. So the RPG actually will damage both enemies and
That
your
are standing
mercs
behind you, yeah.
if they're standing behind. I did see a question by Billy Hausch. When does patch 103 come out? We are still working on it. We are hoping to get it in your hands by the end of this week or early next week.
Yep.
It still depends on certain factors.
Jlozer? Yeah, answered that earlier on. But yeah, mishap chances affect enemies too, yes.
Yes, it's mainly because we saw that enemies felt like they had like sniper rifles instead of RPGs. But also, once you knew that, you could use it quite effectively
As well, yeah.
as long as you got enough rockets. Well, Barry, I'm actually... Oh, I can't even move him. He'll go down.
Yes?
And let's try. When did my import get suppressed? Let's try to blow
That's
this
probably
guy
from
up.
backlash.
Oh, he didn't even die. Can he reload? He can't even reload. We'll try to... I'm just with 2 mercs here, let's see if they will survive. Oh, I didn't want to get suppressed. It's less rockets to use. Yes, we are gonna have Spinuk, we are gonna have a map editor. It's gonna be part of our second modding tools update.
There were earlier questions on when the mod tools are coming. Probably in mid-August.
Yes, the first
that's gonna be the first
batch.
big patch that we're gonna ship. These are all smaller ones with all of these balance and quality of life issues, but the modding is quite a bit bigger in terms of.
And the first batch will focus on content which you can do, like mercenaries, sim characters, weapons, exporting new assets into the game.
Yeah.
That's very important with Blender. modifying the rules, modifying the UI. I've already seen some people actually modding the UI, which is amazing. Without tools, it's quite hard. So that's the focus on the first batch, and the second batch, which will come a bit later, will actually include map editing, as well as editing the campaign and making new campaigns entirely. Let's see what we hit. I don't like this guy.
Well done.
Okay.
Well done, really?
I still got I still hit my character. And now he can't even shoot.
Yeah, because he needs to reload.
I'm gonna move him a bit. Let's see if the backlash actually is less this time.
How can I assist?
But they did survive.
Forward for the legion.
Ouch.
Oh yeah. That's what you get when you play with explosives. Oh.
Well, that's the fun part of Jagged, just getting these random
Yeah.
occurrences like. Oh, I'm gonna get pinned down. That's actually the AI knows what I'm gonna try to do.
Well, you are on the edge of the map, so there's not a lot you can do.
I'm gonna try to just snipe the sniper with my very good. But he doesn't have a very clear line of sight. Can I move?
Free Demi 94. Jagged Alliance 2.103 remake with your engine. We're definitely sure that someone's gonna try that. It's not even a question.
That's how you deal with pin down. Am I gonna run out of rockets? Come on, mishap. Trying to show the mishap, and I'm always trying to do it with low chance to hit. With low mishap chance.
There's a specific question: how can you add a character from another squad, like from a squad to one squad to another? There's a squad management UI that you can just drag one merc into another squad, and that will do the trick.
You can go from manage squads here or in the satellite view,
default.
and you can just create a new squad, or you can move them. They will have to be in the same sector if you're doing it from here. In the satellite view, you can actually move characters from different sectors. They will start traveling and try to join their new sector. Oh, custom made music pack file.
Mods in the bug reports. We mentioned that last week.
Yeah, if you have any mods, they will be there. But the music mod, I'm guessing it wouldn't be a big of an issue.
I'm not sure because I think that we filter through. If there is a mod, it gets deprioritized because we can't check all of the submitted bugs that have active mods.
Oh, we can. There was like so many bugs. We are already having trouble actually reading through all of them.
Yeah.
But
we're having some help
I'm not
closing
sure we are
duplicates.
automatically deprioritizing stuff with mods. We are always looking at what mods are loaded. And if the problem seems like a big problem and there are mods, we will usually try to find something without mods to see how it works without mods.
Off topic, will we be releasing the soundtrack on Spotify? Yes.
Actually already out, I think, isn't it?
I think it should have been out a week after launch. We don't publish it to Spotify. George Strezov, which is the composer of the soundtrack, is the guy who is, or he should be, yeah, it should be live on Spotify. You can go and find it.
And I think this is the highlights of the patch: the machine guns, the explosives, the mines, and addressing difficulty on the lowest difficulty settings. Of course, black powder, having more opportunities to craft ammunition as well. You could actually, that's a neat hint, you could actually use the wire cutters with pipe bombs to combine them to actually get the black powder from pipe bombs, and you can craft ammunition that way. But that's a bit of a more for players that are more into the game and already have a bit more knowledge.
Oh, you're gonna find out a lot of the other things that we're probably not going to talk about here, but there's a bunch.
And this is something we consider a smaller patch. Like we said, with the modding tools, we will have a bit of a bigger patch, a lot more fixes for quests and other problems. Although the fixes list is quite long here as well. I've marked another thing. There's a bit of a thread with your emails in game not marking as being read. There are a couple of fixes. So here we already shipped one with 102. We are shipping more of these.
There are these small annoying things that...
I'm seeing a question about the inventory from Frigan. We are looking at inventory as something we can improve in the future, but it's gonna be a bit more far in the future, a lot more farther in the future, because inventory changes are much more time-consuming and hard to do.
We have a lot. We've talked a lot about inventory.
You don't need to start a new game with the patch. All of the changes should affect all of the save games. All of the quest fixes, we are always looking to see what happens with saves.
In terms of compatibility, yes.
And actually, even for the mines difficulty, I just looked at a problem that was introduced, because if you are from a save, what happens with the depletion? And we are actually addressing this right now. So when the patch launches, it will have the fixes in the save games.
There's a question about the calibers. Yes, that's something near and dear to my heart. We don't plan on introducing the 545 ourselves, but we are in parallel working on showcasing how you can mod a new weapon, create a new caliber, then place it on the map and so on, so that you can create whatever you want.
Have enemies that are using new weapons with new calibers. All of this we are hoping to explain in detail with the modding tools.
Yes, it's gonna be fun.
Hopefully from there, modders will be able to create a lot of interesting stuff. Okay, that's it for the patch part, and I think you had some other things planned.
Yes. So let's see. Where should we start? We've been passing around a lot of the more fun type reviews in the office. So Slack is full of all kinds of screenshots. So probably Buyan has seen many of these, but just in case, we're gonna show you some of our.
I try to shield myself from some of the. Just so I'll be able to react here. Let's see. I haven't been reading any of the mods.
Okay, so.
Oh.
Close the folder. Let's. Lubo, can you shield the desktop so that I can find it again?
So that there's nothing spoilery.
Yes.
Or embarrassing.
Or embarrassing. Well, we can. While I'm doing this, we can go into the other thing that I wanted to ask.
Somebody's got out a Polish artillery for the game, okay?
Oh, that would be, yes, interesting to see. So, in the meantime, let's see.
Yeah, I really enjoy what people are coming up with mods. I play a lot of games with mods, as I said before, and just the creativity that comes out from this is amazing, and just being able to play a game with vastly different rule set and a lot more content, it's always amazing.
All right.
Okay,
we can go back. So
okay,
this is probably one of my favorite that just shows people that used to play back in the days are excited about the new game, because they've been wanting a reboot for all this time. So basically, times change, but Jagged Alliance, in a way, is a passion that you've developed in your earlier years.
I'm not sure. I would have preferred that his wife actually wants to play Jagged Alliance as well. Maybe even buy a second copy and play co-op. But I feel you, man.
Wait, there's more. This one is actually connected in a way. I would say these are red flags, but in a way, this is nice. They're playing together. There was also a couple that said that
Okay.
they're playing co-op as well, so that was also
Okay,
fun.
so Jagged Alliance 3 is bringing couples together. That's amazing. So it can work as therapy as well.
Yes,
Just go shoot some Legion thugs in
and
the
not each
game.
other. And not each other. This was the other thing, which was like, I really liked that people got the tongue-in-cheek and were not offended, but actually felt it was fun. Obi-Wan Kenobi is actually one of our more active people on the Discord, so tip of the hat to you, my good sir, and keep it up. We love your passion. We love to see it.
Oh, yeah.
This is why we do it. The other one. This is a fact of life. I mean,
Well, ultimately, that's why we also have the game mode where you can avoid save scumming. I think that save scumming for turn-based games is actually like a self-balancing thing. You know it's something you're not supposed to do, but sometimes you just want to have fun and play around and mess around with the game. Try one of the other Pavel's bad builds and just see what's happening and just load and try to see if you can actually make it through the challenge. Other times, well, there's an option. You can try to use it.
quick load. All right.
I wish I had a job.
Oh yeah, these are. Let's see. No save scum. Well, yes, that's the whole point of some of the modes. This was something that was really interesting. We were going through all the Metacritic scores, and we were like, "Wow, 0! Like, what didn't this player like?" And then you're like, "Absolutely bloody yes!" You know, he really loved it, and you're like, "What? Is that a misclick?"
Oh, he
Maybe it's a
just
misclick.
went over the cap and the counter just turned roll over. Yeah,
God damn
11 out of 10. Result isn't 0.
And another one.
Okay,
The same.
so more than one person actually changed this.
But this did draw our attention. We were like, okay, what was so wrong with it? And then you read all of the actually positive things that they found that it was just a mistake in a way. It was super great because you go on a roller coaster of emotions. We're not inviting you to do that, by the way. We have enough.
Okay, review building and Metacritic starting now. Like everybody changed their scores to 0. Please don't. But
Yes. And those are it. But
amazing reviews.
at the same time, I would like to ask Boyan about his estimates on something else. The achievements in the game. We have a
Okay.
lot of achievements in the game, and some of them are really rare. But I'd like to ask you for specific achievements, and you can guess how many % of the players actually got those achievements. Are you
Okay.
ready? All
Let's
right,
try.
so first of all, new kid on the block, creating an IMP character. Wait, let me grab the exact numbers on my phone here, so that
I do
we're
have
not
some
spoiled.
meta knowledge about this because I do know that it's not going to be 100% because actually some people never buy games but never play them, so there usually is a lower number of even if the easiest achievement, and I think this is one of our easiest achievements.
Mm-hmm.
However, the imp character is a bit hidden. It's intentionally hidden so that new players don't get overwhelmed with the whole process. We ping them when they
40 mercs, and then all of a sudden
yeah.
you can create your own.
we
Yeah.
do ping you via email, in-game email, when you capture a town of learning to do it, if you haven't. I'm gonna say 55%, something a bit more than 50.
More.
It's more. Well, that's good. How
It's
much?
69.7%
Okay,
of players
Actually,
created their
that's
own IMP merc.
that's quite a lot of people.
It's quite a lot
Great
of
that
people.
the people have gone through the process and hopefully went through the questions. Also, yeah, 69.
Yes. All right. So next one, 2 birds, 1 stone.
What was the birds one? So get a single bullet to pass through two, kill 2
Kill
enemies.
2.
with-
Yes, with 1 shot.
It does happen. You can actually go for it and try to line up a shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's still something that's a bit more rare. 25%.
Close, 28%.
Oh yeah, that is.
It is.
Actually,
It is more common.
Yeah.
Okay. Lone wolf.
Lone wolf. What's
1
the-
merc playthrough.
one more playthrough. I did challenge some people to do it, but there was low. 4%.
No.
Wow.
No. 0.3%.
Oh, okay. 0.3% makes. I was hoping to actually inspire people to go for more, but it's just 2 weeks since the game launched. So, keep it raise this percentage more. I do know. I do have a friend that's actually doing a second playthrough now with a single character, and he's like,
Oh, wait, he already did it with one?
yeah.
And okay.
He's a very hardcore player, and he already went through a full playthrough. He actually mentioned that it's an interesting challenge, but it's a bit lonesome that you don't get to hear Mercs quip and chime in and complain about stuff. So I was thinking about what a good duo challenge would be. So get a couple of Mercs that work well together and
The dynamic duo?
finish the game with two
I think
Mercs.
that was, I don't have it right here, but I think that was also around 0.3%, the dynamic duo achievement.
And I think that we can come up with some good challenges as well for the community for a duo Merc playthrough. What's the next one?
The next one is the rarest achievement of them all for now. At least I think it was. It's Iron Man. It's basically everything. All of the game rules.
Well, it's less than 0.4% because we know that from the Lone Wolf. Yeah, Spine Duke says 0.1. Is it actually 0?
Nope. We actually have no achievements that are 0. All of the achievements have been unlocked by at least some players.
And a good amount if it's not 0, yeah.
Iron Man is by 0.2. So
Oh.
basically twice what Spine Duke said, but still damn close. So let's leave the zeros and stuff like Larry. A lot of the people love Larry. Rehab. How many percent?
Well, you have to get Larry, then go to this
Spoilers.
7%.
Nope, 4.4.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping to get this a bit more.
But I think
Actually,
that a lot of
Larry's,
people don't know about the fact that you can clean Larry. It's still kind of...
there's the quests do suggest that, so even when you get
They
him.
suggested, but yeah.
Larry is a very fun Merc to actually create. He's always had this dichotomy of having him in his influenced state and in rehab state. And we definitely wanted to repeat that, and we had a lot of fun coming up with the outfit. When he was in the influence state, there's the teddy bear. Actually, it was just an amazing.
I remember because I was doing the concepting and then the production of the actual outfit for Larry, and writing that brief was fun because we were like. First of all, writing the brief for the concept, and then when we actually had the concept, we gave it to the artists, and they were like looking at it. Are you sure? Like we've done probably, I don't know, 20 mercs at that point with all of the different combat gear or heavy bikers and stuff like that, and you're like all of a sudden looking at Larry's concept, and you're like, is that? I think the earlier one had toilet paper and all kinds of different stuff on them.
Yeah, the artist, the concept artist went a bit nuts. There were like, he now has the helmet. At some point, he had actually a teddy bear, a pink teddy bear hat instead.
Yes.
Not a head, like a whole head instead of. But that was a bit going overboard.
Going too much in one direction.
We should try to find some of those concepts and have Nelson come in and talk a bit about them.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah. I'll make a note of that. Kazoo is writing something interesting. Honestly, Larry should steal medication and stim packs from your inventory because he's a junkie, right? So, I don't know. Did that make it into the game?
We were discussing having the kleptomaniac traits. Some people doing that. Ultimately, they were funny. We actually had one of those in one of those quirky type things in the game, which was there are still some quirks in the game, like the spiritual. we had some that were a bit more out there. One that was incredibly annoying, and we removed it because it was very annoying, was forgetting to reload after combat.
Oh,
That
one.
There was actually, it was a two-parter. It was like they could forget to reload after combat, or they could also forget that their contract was up for a couple of days. So you could get them to stay a bit more or longer, or forget to reload. But the forgetting to reload was really, really annoying.
Yeah. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I think.
But actually, quirks are quite funny, and I'd love to see some mods get reintroduce some of those.
Speaking of mods, public service announcement, the Steam Workshop now has categories. I think the category is the correct term. But it's up to the modders to assign the category of their mods. We, like the admins of the workshop group, can't assign. So all of you modders out there that are already doing stuff without the modding tools, again, tip of the hat, you can do that now, because we've had some feedback that it's already hard trying to sift through all of the mods that are now available. So
Yeah.
that would be a quality
Have
of
they
life
reached
for
200
people.
mods? I know I looked at like
I didn't check the exact number, but they're growing.
They're growing quite fast.
Mm.
And with the modding tools, I'm expecting an explosion.
All right, so before we wrap up, we can get more questions from stream. Let's see.
Wasn't there a mod actually? You were gonna tease me with a mod.
I'm gonna no. Let's leave it for next time.
Okay, next time. Get more. I will avoid looking at mods.
Yes. 282, 285.
285. Wow.
Thanks, Shepard.
Wow.
Yeah. Jesus.
Since I avoid looking at them for now, I'm gonna get after releasing the modding tools, and I'll wait like a month, and I'll do a playthrough with a lot of mods. See what we can actually stream some games with multiple mods. I can't wait to actually install the hyena one. I want to play with more
With hyenas?
Yeah.
That would be fun. All right. We'll be able to bring an asset to create original characters like art, dialogue, and VA.
Yes.
Yes.
You will be able to export via Blender new character models. We are going to have some examples how to do that quickly. Well, it will take time to create, of course, the assets. But yes, you will be able to create assets, export them to the game, and load them and create entirely
But
custom ones.
that being said, it's you can export assets like characters, faces, portraits, outfits, and stuff like that. But you will be restricted by the rig that the actual animation is using, and the animations, because animations are they're not a small tweak. They're a larger thing that's.
Well, actually, we have like, was it 2,000 animations? Each weapon set comes on with its own set of animations. That's something.
It just explodes really fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, weapons, outfits, new environments, objects that you can place out later on with the map editing mod tools are going to be everywhere. New quests and campaigns are all available. Removable weapon attachments. I'm sure there will be a mod for that.
It's in the list of suggestions. We are gathering an ever-growing list of suggestions, which we are trying to order to see what we can add and what's easy to actually implement. The removable weapon attachments are actually part of the list. And the physics cat actually asked if machine gun Overwatch breaking stealth a decision to balance the machine gun strength. It was mostly focused around combat, not that much about stealth. We have a lot of discussion internally about stealth and how to handle issues with stealth. So this is an active conversation that's going in the design team. Stealth tweaks are a bit harder to do. but hopefully we are gonna have more on that topic in the modding patch.
Wiggen outfits are everything besides the head of the character. It's the entire character art that you see. There are already stuff that you can use inside the game to build your own character, like different parts, but you'll also be able to export your own. And armor is more of the items that you can pick out. So far, we don't change any of the view.
Actually, I'm gonna ask Corondor a follow-up question. So he's asking, any word on traveling speed? Is it intended that way? Can you elaborate a bit on what you're talking about? Because I know an issue with traveling speed. I'm wondering if you're talking about the same thing.
While he's answering you, A100NN, I don't know how that's pronounced. You can even currently, I think, change textures and stuff like that, but with modding tools, you'll be able to do it even easier.
The traveling issue I was talking about is that leadership does play quite a big role in determining traveling speed. I was just discussing it with some of our testers. I am personally taking a look at traveling speed and leadership. Hopefully... it doesn't make you 50%, it cuts the time in half. Yes, so it's the leadership. Okay, yes, I'm taking a specific look at this thing. The comment that sparked this was actually leadership is the most important stat in the game right now because it saves you a lot of time. I am looking at it, looking at what the intention was and how it works. I don't think we will have something tweaked for 103 because it's
I didn't see
already
anything
closed.
for that specifically.
But with the next big patch, I'm hoping to have a solution for that.
All right. So, what else? What are our plans? We talked a lot about this. Smaller patches right now, bigger patch in the middle of August with modding tools, then another patch with modding tools with map editor. That's the TLDR of what you missed.
Trakar LP asked if enemies get a free takeover move when I ambush them. No, so here's how the reposition mechanic works. When enemies become aware, they can spend some action points to go into cover or do a reactionary shot. This is mostly there because actually having them all out in the open all the time, because the player always takes the first turn, ended up with the first turn having very important, very demanding part of the combat. So basically 50% of the combat was resolved with the first turn. They do take a reactionary, small reactionary turn. It is limited by action points. They do not have the full complement of action points for their reactionary turn. They have a very small amount of action points. So it does depend on how far they move to go to cover and take cover. It depends on their action points of the specific enemy. I do like Victus's actually question. Do you have any summer holiday? I think
Yes.
it's something good to talk about. So
Yes,
what are our plans?
we are gonna take, like, not everyone from the studio apparently is gonna take at the same time holidays, but we are in a more holiday-ish mood. That's why in the next 2 weeks we won't have streams. Then we'll come back and it'll be right around the time when we're gonna launch the modding tools patch. So we can talk a little bit more then about that big topic, and probably 1 hour is really not gonna cut it, but we'll go overboard there.
I might not be able to make it, so we'll have to find a replacement and surprise somebody else with modding, with interesting mods. And some funny reviews.
Ooh, maybe other Boyan or yes, there's a bunch of people who can talk about that. But yes, we are gonna take a short break, just to recharge. It's been a hell of a ride. It's been really fun, but we tend to think clearer when we're a little bit more relaxed. Let's see. I'd say one or two more questions, we can close it off.
Yeah, let's see if we can find some interesting questions. Yeah, some vacation
Thank
is
you, guys.
definitely needed and appreciated. There are some questions about performance, and I really think we should get Ivana-san here at some point to talk about
Yes.
performance, the specific options, the technical details. I think it's gonna be a fun stream too.
I really
Yeah.
feel like I'm not doing you justice answering those questions.
I can answer some of them, and I will be like, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Yeah, we need somebody who definitely has the understanding to answer those.
Because there are a lot. Okay.
There are some questions about moving squads in parallel in satellite view and having the ability to meet multiple squads and player squads at the same sector. There is an option to have one squad enter conflict and wait for the other squad to come in, but we know it's not the best UI UX experience there. It's in the list of something we have to look at and fix.
Blue perks?
Yeah,
Or two generic?
so basically the perk has two specializations instead of a unique perk. We wanted to give this option of having the specialization, combined specializations, be his unique, but I get that some people would like something a bit more unique. We experimented with some more generic talents, just having one of 3 unique talents, but they really limited the builds you can do with the imp mark, and sort of set it like build it like that. And we wanted to have more exploration. I think it's something very cool to explore in mods.
Shiro the Sniper. We would love to be able to rename our squads. Fun thing. That is a nightmare in terms of UI.
Not in UI specifically, but translation, localization, and some multiplayer issues.
Yeah, but
actually.
we had bit of fun with that one.
Oh, Spine Duke is asking about sniper rifles. We are looking at sniper rifles. We are taking a look at what people are doing with sniper rifles. We feel that it's a very dominant strategy early on. People get to use that because it's a very safe strategy, but it's not overly broken as like what the machine guns and explosive were doing. But we are looking at it, looking at what people are doing, trying to see how people can abuse sniper rifles. There were some concerns with Overwatch and sniper rifles. I think that even in one of our betas, it was something that people were concerned, but it's okay. They are quite accurate point-blank ranges. We had the we had a penalty initially that sniper rifles were missing, were more inaccurate in close range, and people were finding it very strange. They was like, why is he shooting like from 2 meters and missing with this big gun? It sounded slightly ridiculous. So it's more for an immersion part. We don't think it's broken in terms of balance because snipers are usually cumbersome, so you don't get that free move. You really, but it is something we are looking. So for the AP costs of going down for assault rifles, SMGs and pistols are something we are looking more at, because specifically they do have the penalty of not going through a lot of armor, even with the armor piercing rounds. Unless you get some Desert Eagles, you're gonna get stopped by armor.
Hmm.
And a lot of the shots, specifically because of running gun and reactionary shots, are always in the torso. It gets hard to use 9mm weapons specifically. That's a bit like what it is in real life, but it is something we have ongoing talks about.
Mm. Oh, I really want to go on a rant here regarding the close-up shots with rifles and like point-blank ranges. You know, the part of
It's
turn-based, turn-based metaphor. You know that you have a turn, I have a turn, and so on. Is that you plan it, but since we visualize it that he's already pointing it at you, it just
it's
gives
like
a wrong feeling.
one guy moves and then the other guy shoots, and it looks static. But in a real life combat, the one guy is moving while the other is aiming.
Yeah.
It is a problem that turn-based strategy have in common in general. In XCOM, it does tend to look extremely ridiculous, especially when the dice rolled and like you have this animation of a character looking down the sights exactly at the enemy and then going like, "Oops, I'm gonna shoot there."
Yeah. Well, it should be staying right
it's
here, and then
very
you give the
immersion
order,
breaking,
and then
yeah.
he. Anyway, yeah.
We've
that's,
tried to go around it in several ways, but it's still something that happens even in Jagged Alliance. I'm not specifically sure that there are easy solutions for that problem in turn-based games.
All right, so let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it
Again, we're not going anywhere besides vacation. So the next 2 weeks there are not going to be any streams, but that doesn't mean that afterwards we're not going to be back. For the guys that joined up later, like Loza M, the ETA on the modding tools is mid-August when we will be back, and we will explain a little bit more about that patch. It's the bigger patch that we have planned. So it's gonna be a lot of stuff that's gonna happen there. Some example mods. We'll see exactly what we want to show on the next show, on the next live stream. We are recording these, so there is the VOD, uploaded to Twitch, so you can rewind this and then beat us on the head about something wrong that we've said, because we know that's how it works. But yes, that's it.
If you have any suggestions of what you want to see in the streams, do post on Discord
Yes.
or the forums, and we are gonna take a look. And
We're trying to read everything. We can't read everything, but we're skimming through and getting the best we can.
And of course, patch 103, the first balance patch coming
End of this week.
end of this week
start of
or
next week.
early next week.
Mm.
Hopefully sooner, so you can enjoy a bit of weekend fun with Jagged Alliance.
Wigan, I didn't expect that from you. Like, for now, we really want to focus on Jagged Alliance modding tools, so that's
I have
it.
dozens of ideas for new games. We'll see what we are gonna actually.
Home stretch, come on.
Yeah.
Focus. All right, guys.
Jagged Alliance 4.
See you next time. Love that you came, and
Bye
see you
bye.
later. Bye.